Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today I'm going to explain about listening for academic purposes. And in this subject, you are going to study and focus on listening, which is in line with academic purpose. One of them is listening for TOEFL and IELTS. But for your level, I'm going to start my material start from a TOEFL test in listening skill. According to my previous material, I give some material, reading material related to understanding about listening skill for TOEFL. And in this meeting, I'm going to explain about those reading material which is focused on listening skill. In listening skill for TOEFL, there are two kind of listening for TOEFL. Those are TOEFL based and paper based. And then here I'm going to focus on listening on the paper TOEFL test. So in the listening test, there are three types of listening tests, which is called by short dialogue, long conversation, and talk. Short dialogue, it would be the discussion between two people. Sometimes first speaker is man and the second speaker would be woman, and vice versa. And then this section would be consist on 30 questions, yeah, about 30 question. And then the second one is about long conversation. Long conversation would be the discussion between two people, two speakers, but the conversation would be longer than short conversation. It would take 30 to 90 seconds. That is the second type of listening test for TOEFL. And then the last type of this test would be talk. It will spend 30 to 90 seconds. So in the talk, you are going to listen speakers, yeah, one speakers which is talking about one issue, and you need to focus on the speakers because the test would be in line and related to what the speakers say. And in this part, the question would be 11 to 30 questions. Okay, so the conclusion in the TOEFL test would be three type of question. The first one is dialogue, short dialogues. The second one long conversation, and the last one talk. Okay. Um. Wait. Okay, this one done. So the most important thing in this subject, you need to understand about the strategy, yeah, the strategy in answering, listening for TOEFL. So the first one in general, you need to be familiar with the direction. Yeah, familiar with the direction here means you need to understand about what the question want, what is the test want you to answer. Okay, so the direction, instruction, you need to understand it well. And then the second one, listen carefully to the passage. So you need to listen very carefully about the passage, yeah, that consists in the test. The next one, you need to know where the easier and the more difficult questions are generally found. It is very important. This strategy is very important. So, in 30 question, for example, yeah, so, for example, the question consists of 30 question. So, question number 1 to question number 5 would be easy, and then question number 5 number 6 to question number 10 would be uh, difficult, and then question number 11 to 20 it would be very difficult. So that's why you need to make a target in answering the question. You need to focus on the first test, on the first number, because if you don't get any information in the first question, you will get lost in the next number of the question. So it is the time for you to have higher score in the first meeting, in the first test, in the first number of the test, because the test would be start from the easy, difficult, and very difficult question. And then the next one, you need to be familiar with the pacing of the test. So you need to be familiar with this test because you will play with the time. So you need to be very careful in the use of time management. So between one question to the next question, you will only have 12 seconds to prepare your answer. And then the next one, never leave any answer blank on your sheet answer. So even though you don't have any idea, you don't have any answer in your test, you need to guess. Ya, harus guess itu apa? Guessing ya. Harus menebak. So don't let the answer blank. However, you guessing the answer, but you need to complete all question very well. And then the last one, use any remaining time to look ahead at the answer to the question that follow. So yeah, it is what I said to you, that you need to have time management. You have to be careful with the time that you have, because you have only 12 seconds between one question to the next question. Okay, the next one. Okay, so in the meeting, in your 38 to 43, 43. Okay. So you are going to start your test strategy from the short dialogues. So here there is procedure for the short dialogues. The first one, as you listen to the each short dialogue, focus on the second line of the conversation. So it is very important for you to take uh, very important focus on the second line of the conversation. So in the short dialogue would be two speakers between man and woman or woman and man. For example, the first speaker is man and the second speaker is woman. So you need to focus on the second speaker about the woman because the question would be asked about the second speaker. And then the second one, keep in mind that the correct answer is probably restatement of a keyword or idea in the second line of the dialogue. So sometime the answer is about restatement or about the synonym. So you just need to have an idea. You just need to have like the meaning, yeah, the meaning and the main meaning. What is the mean of the dialogue issue, yeah, issue, and keep in your mind. Sometimes the answer is not the same with what the speaker said. For example, when the speaker said about this test is easy, for example, what do you think about the test yesterday? First speakernya said like that, and then the second speaker said, uh, the yesterday test is easy. Nah, intinya kan tesnya itu sangat mudah katanya ya. And then in the answers option, nah you need to answer, for example, the test is not difficult. It's not difficult means easy. So this is the meaning of restatement. So you need to have understanding about synonym of the vocabulary. And then the third one, keep in mind that certain structure and expression are tested regularly in the dialogue. So the structure would be passive, negative, with, and condition. So the structure that is used in the test sometimes is passive form, kalimat pasif. Sometimes kalimat negatif. Sometimes wishes or hope or harapan. Sometimes is conditional sentence. And then the next one, functional expression, sometime agreement, uncertainty, suggestion, and surprise. Yeah, agreement. Yeah. So the expression would be an agreement expression, uncertainty, ketidakyakinan, suggestion, yeah, and some others about surprise. And then about idiomatic expression, yeah, sometimes two-part verb, three-part, and three-part verb and idiom. The next one, keep in mind that this question generally progress from easy to difficult. This is what I said you before that the test is structured from the easy one to the difficult. So this means that question 1 to 5 will be easiest. So it is a time for you to have high score from question number 1 to question number 5, and then question 26 to 30 will be the hardest test. hardest level of the test, like that. So I suggest you that when you answer the questions from number 1 to number 20, maybe it is the time for you to have high score ya, untuk mengumpulkan pundi-pundi skor. It is time for you ya. Question number 1 to 20, waktunya untuk kamu mengumpulkan pundi-pundi skor. You need to focus on that number because 21 to 30 would be very difficult question. That is the strategy. And then the last one, read the answer and choose the best answer to each question. Remember to answer each question even if you are not sure, walaupun kamu nggak punya jawaban. To the correct response, never leave any answer blank. Jangan pernah kamu meninggalkan jawaban kosong. Oke, walaupun kamu menebak, you need to answer the question. Okay. The next one, even if you don't not understand the complete dialogue, you can still find the correct answer. Wait. If you only understand a few words or idea in the second line, ya, kalau kamu hanya paham beberapa kata saja di second line or second speaker, choose the answer, ya, ini strateginya ya. Choose the answer that contain, pilihlah jawaban yang berisi restatement of those word or idea. Nah, persamaan kata atau restatement yang berkaitan dengan kata atau idea atau frase yang dikatakan oleh second speaker. If you don't understand anything at all, in the second line of the conversation, choose the answer that sound most different from what you hear. Jadi strategi yang lainnya juga kamu harus menjawab that sound the most different, yang paling berbeda from what you hear. Nah, because tidak mungkin jawabannya itu sama seperti yang kamu dengar. Because sometimes yang mirip dengan yang kamu dengar itu hanyalah pengecohnya. Later on, we are going to practice about it. The last one, be prepared for the next question. So, you need to have time management because the time only 12 seconds. So, you have to be very carefully to prepare about the next question. I think that's all about listening strategy. For further information, I think it is very good for you to read very carefully about this material because the next meeting I'm going to go to the very specific strategy related to the test that usually come in the TOEFL test. Thank you. Goodbye. And Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.